So I've been homeless for nearly 6 months now. Keep in mind, I'm sober, I work out every day, I don't bother anyone. And I just had a situation, and this has happened a couple times now in different ways, and it continues to be one of my biggest pet peeves because I was never this type of person. But people will say things to me and make different comments to me that they would never say if I wasn't currently homeless. But because they think that I'm basically down and out of life and not on their level, that now they can speak to me a certain type of way that never used to fly. And I was never the type of person. I've always treated a janitor with the same respect that I would a CEO. And so it's funny to me how many people will disrespect me because they think I'm not going to get out of this situation and that I'm not going to be way more successful than them.
Hello everyone, this is Emmanuel Cook. We will be reacting to a new video today, so make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let's get into the video.
The saddest part about me being homeless right now is how the people who knew me, when I had a house and was living, roaching and mooching off my pops, how people treat you different. That's the, it is not you being homeless. It is what it is. I look better and have more money than a lot of you out here with a place to stay. It is how people treat you. So even the jobs, right? I work jobs, and there will be a point where I tell them, that I'm homeless. I'll wait. So, I wait till they say something where I know it's like, hey, bro, but okay, I'm homeless, but okay. As soon as they hear that, they try to, no, I don't need your sympathy. Like, dude try to tell me, oh, you can't wear sweatpants. All right, well, bro, look, you didn't tell me what I could and could not wear, but you were waiting to correct me. You were waiting because I wore 3 different outfits yesterday. You didn't say nothing, So now when I go back in, it's going to be like, oh, no, don't say sorry to me. Don't say nothing. Y'all keep crapping on me because of my situation.
I'm sorry, but I don't know if Audacity was on sale this year, but these homeless people these days, they're a whole different breed of homeless people. I went to the market around the corner from my house to grab some snacks to take to work. As I'm coming out, this homeless guy's like, hey, ma'am, do you actually happen to have some spare change? And I was like, no, I actually don't keep change, but here, you can actually have a couple of these snacks. Like, I'm fine. I'll get something else to eat. Do you know this man looked at me and said, I didn't ask for food. I asked for change. Excuse me for trying to make sure you're fed. And I told him, no, I don't have any change for you. Have a good day. And at Safeway last week, same thing happened to me. I came out, this guy is like, hey, do you happen to have some spare change? I actually did have a couple dollars on me at the time. So I was like, you know what? Let me give this man a couple dollars because I actually had it on me. So I'm like, hey, yeah, like, sure, you can have a couple dollars. Do you know what this man said to me? He asked me, he said, do you have at least 5? I'm sorry, but like, I'm done helping homeless people right now. Like, I really love to help people when I can, but the audacity of most of them these days, like, no matter what you give them, it's never enough.
I'm gonna make this video. I'm looking up because I'm driving, but I just saw a homeless guy, with a sign up. In fact, I'm still looking at him right now. He has a sign up saying, can anybody help him with money? And mind you, I was homeless for a while, on drugs for a while, 20 plus years, on crack, and I was homeless myself. But, and I know that many times I was out there asking for money, and when I was asking for money so I could continue getting high. Probably 97% of the time I was doing it so I could get high. Maybe 3% of the time I was doing it so that I can actually eat. So I'm not telling anybody not to help anybody who's asking for money. But my issue is, and I guess it's not an issue, but I stopped giving money to people. Even though I used to be homeless, I stopped giving money to people when they have a sign up saying, can you spare $1? Or they're asking me for $1. And the reason being is because, what do you need my dollar for? Like if you said, like, I'm hungry, can you help me get some food? I would say, I'm the first person to say, yeah, I'll buy you some food. If I got the money, I'm gonna buy you some food. I'm not gonna let anybody go hungry. But if you just got a sign up saying, hey, can you give me $1, or I need some money? I mean, I need money too. A lot of us get, our heart pulled on, our heart tugged at when we see somebody in that situation. But again, I'm coming from a mindset of a person who was in that situation. We get in our mind that, oh, let me help this person. It's a good, godly thing to do. But think about it. The person didn't tell you one time what they needed money for. They just said, please give me some money. I mean, if that's the case, can I get a sign and just stand up on the corner and just say, please give me some money, and somebody just gives me money? Again, there's nothing wrong with helping anybody. I encourage helping anybody who's in need. But who of us will give money to anybody and they don't give us a reason why they need the money? So just start being a little bit wiser, that's all.
How do y'all get over depression? Like, I'm extremely depressed. It's just me and my kid. We homeless. I can't get approved for childcare, so therefore I can't get a real job. And if you know me, you know I work. I don't play about work. But I'm only doing this delivery thing right now because that's all I can do. But in Texas, I thought everything was bigger in Texas, but obviously it's not, because I can't even make barely $20 to $30 a day. When I was at home, I get orders for $40, $50, $60. I get to Texas, I see orders for $5, $7, $10. Like, it's a struggle to make $20, $30 a day, like I said. I mean, I don't get child support. I ain't got no family here that can help me. I can't leave because my car keep breaking down every other day. So, like, what am I supposed to do? I'm trying my hardest not to just crash out because I got my son and he didn't ask to be here, so I got to do what I got to do for him, but man.
I've been homeless 3 times in my life and am on the verge of being homeless again come December 19th. And I want to share my story in hopes that if someone else is going through the same thing, that it can help them. And that if there's anyone out there who needs help, maybe it will encourage them to ask for help. So I had to take a second and get myself together. It's my service dog in the background. Okay, the first time I was homeless was when I turned 18 and left my very emotionally abusive, traumatic home life. It was either be homeless or stay in an environment that made me want to unalive myself. I will also say that I do have some pretty heavy-duty psychological disorders and disabilities. I was misdiagnosed for 10 years, and I often felt like I was fragile, like a grenade. Like, I was so sensitive and couldn't handle stressful environments or traumatic triggering environments. But luckily now, within the last 2 or 3 years, doctors have me with the right diagnosis and on the right medicine, and I finally feel good. But the other 2 times that I was homeless were the result of domestic violence, and I stayed in a homeless shelter. And then I also lived in my car. I had 2 jobs, and no one knew that every time I've been homeless, no one has known that I'm homeless. I was in college and was taking 18 credit hours and graduated with honors while I was homeless, and no one knew. I mean, majority of the time, people have no idea that I have a disability or a disorder. I became very good at hiding it from society. Despite how hard I've tried over the years, I cannot work normal 9-to-5s because of my disabilities and having a service dog. Even though jobs want to say that they don't discriminate, they do. And to be honest, I have been extremely mentally stable doing what I do now. Writing my novel. I want to be an author. I'm on draft 3 and doing TikTok content creating. I'm currently trying to get brand deals, and I'm hoping that that will bring in livable income for me. My situation is very unique when it comes to my ability to being able to rent. I'll list that up there. And unfortunately, in the last 2 or 3 months, there just have been some things that have made me feel really uncomfortable in regards to my male roommate, and some things that just have not made me feel that safe as a woman. So now I have to move out by the end of December 19th. And I think that I may have somewhere to go, which is in Texas. So from North Carolina all the way to Texas, praying that my car can make it there. But the main point I want to get across is that it's okay to ask for help. You don't have to be ashamed.
I am currently homeless, going on to 5 months. I lost my job in September, and I was already losing my house because I couldn't afford the house I was in anymore. I'm a single mom of 4 kids, and there was no way I could keep the house. So yeah, we ended up packing up, me and my kids, and moving. So that's what happened. I lost my job, and I can't find a job. I've been applying every time. I still can't find a job, and it's already 5 months now. It's fucking hard. It's hard to get hired here in this little ass town. I don't know. Applying everywhere online that I see, and yeah, I was a dental assistant, so now I don't know what to do. I just keep applying places and still nothing. I just keep getting denied on emails and stuff like that. I keep getting them. It's either I'm overqualified or my background. It's my background that shows my DUI, and a lot of places will not accept that, of course. You guys are so concerned about my kids. My kids actually stay with me when we go to my mom's. So when I go to my mom's, that's when I'll have my kids. And I don't go to my mom's, and they'll stay with their dad. My 2 oldest stay with my ex-husband, and then my 2 babies stay with their dad. It's me left here in my little car. Well, it's not little, but I need it. So I'm about to have my 5th baby. I'm hoping I get to, or at least get a room at a hotel by May, like where I can afford it, because I don't know. Yeah, I've been trying to get a job since September and still nothing, but you know, I'm not giving up. I'm still gonna try to fucking apply at places before I have this baby. Yeah, guys, that's it. It's fucking hard. Nothing drastic like crazy happened to me, and just couldn't afford it, and I lost my job. So, and to you guys, keep saying why not live in my, well, it's a lot for my mother. We all have different moms, and she sometimes needs her space and her peace. You can just tell. You can just get the vibe. And I have 4 kids. It gets chaotic. It gets loud. They're freaking bad when they're all together, okay? I got boys, so like her. That's why. Okay, guys? Whatever happened in my life, what fallout happened to my life, my decisions, what I did, my choices, it's because of me. So it's not my mom's responsibility to just, you know, take over. She does help me a lot, so yeah, guys. And you guys keep saying, oh, she has a car. No shit, I have a car. It's all I have left is my vehicle. I had this forever and I'm gonna keep it. Well, this is where I stay and live in, and all my shit's in here. So I'm sorry I have a car, but I didn't say I was a crackhead in the streets. I'm just homeless. That's it. Not carless. I'm not saying anything else. I'm showing you how I live my life right now, currently. I'm just living this way, and I'm just showing you guys how I live. Don't fucking feel bad. Don't feel bad. My morning routine or evening routines in my car, it's different. So yeah, I got used to it now. 5 months being homeless now, and I'm making the best of it.
I'm gonna make this shit fast. So basically, about up to like a week ago, I was homeless. So I'm 21 and homeless. Yay! That's nothing to celebrate. Literally, so my parents kicked me out because I'm trans. And it's funny because my whole family will disregard the fact that it's literally that reason, but it is that reason. It's all fucking bad. And like, I got in a car accident literally like in December. I lost my fucking car. They literally totaled that bitch, and then my settlement is like 20 grand, but like I have to pay some of that to the car, so like technically I don't even know how much I'm gonna get back. It's like all bad because I don't have a house and I don't have a car, so like what the fuck am I gonna do? And I'm in a car, obviously. This is my boyfriend's car and I'm staying at his house. But this is the funny part, up until last night, literally they tell me that they don't want me here because I'm like, I make them uncomfortable to be around because I'm trans. Like, girl, bye. Literally, I don't know what the fuck to do. So here I am, literally homeless in my boyfriend's car, having to find somewhere else to live tonight, and I have nowhere else to fucking go.
A quick reminder, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let's continue the video.
So I never thought that I'd be homeless at the age of 19, and I'm sure you wouldn't expect that to happen to you either, because why would it? But I made one decision that really changed everything. So, you know, I was in college, working, doing everything right. At least I thought I was. But then life threw me a curveball that I wasn't expecting. You know, my parents just decided to move all the way across the country to Arizona from Illinois. So that would include me forfeiting basically everything about my life in order to start a new life there. I know it doesn't sound that bad, like, oh, you get to move to Arizona, it's warmer there, you'll have a better life, you can start a new life. Yeah, that doesn't really apply when it's not your choice. When you don't want to move and you want things to keep going how they're going while you're building your life, then when all of a sudden you have no choice but to move all the way across the country, it doesn't feel like that anymore. It doesn't feel very good. And now compound that with the fact that I just started dating this girl that I really liked. Like, I really did not want to move. That was like the worst fucking thing that happened to me possible. So anyway, let's fast forward a little bit. I made the move with my family, or my 2 parents really. And, you know, we got in this apartment in Arizona. And that month was probably one of the most depressing months of my life. I mean, yeah, like I had no friends, obviously. I had to somehow finish my last semester of community college at a new school. That was a messy process that I didn't even bother trying. I didn't even know if my credits were going to transfer properly. Had to get a job and then get 2 pay stubs so I get a loan for a car. I mean, it was terrible. So on top of all that, I think it's probably important to mention, this is the most contributing factor, is that my stepdad was always really abusive, and you know, it did not get better in Arizona. And he was intentionally turning me into an alcoholic by continuing to buy me alcohol and getting upset if I didn't drink it. So, you know. So both my girlfriend and my mom convinced me to move back with my girlfriend here in Illinois. And I was very hesitant at first because I knew the risks, obviously. I mean, I was putting all my eggs into one basket. I mean, that's just putting it lightly. And unfortunately, that basket got destroyed and I lost all my eggs because, you know, 3 weeks into me living with her, out of respect for her, I'm not going to go too deep into it, things just didn't work out. And all of a sudden, I had to leave. I had to leave with nowhere to go. I only had my car, and that was it. And yeah, I mean, that night that we ended things, and I was all by myself with nowhere to go in my car, you know, that was probably the most hopeless I've ever felt. You know, I had two options, and I considered both. I could either give up, and when I say give up, I mean permanently give up, or I could pick myself up and just keep marching on. And fortunately, I chose the latter. So that night, my friend took me in, said I could sleep at his place, which I'm very grateful for, and I did. And so, you know, at least I didn't have to sleep in my car. And then he just said, hey, you can just keep sleeping here. So that's what I've been doing the past week and a half that I've been homeless. So yes, technically, I do have a roof over my head, which I'm very grateful for. However, it's not really my home. I just go there to sleep and shower, and that's about it. You know, I don't have keys to his place, so if he's not home, then I can't be there. I mean, that's not really a home. And not having any place to call home, really, is very emotionally exhausting. And yet, ironically, I am the happiest that I've ever been in a long time. You know, despite everything that happened, I don't have to worry about my stepdad anymore. And for the first time in my life, I truly feel free from everything. And while things could have worked out better, I'm still glad that this all happened. And I want you to know that whatever you're going through, it is possible to find happiness in every single situation. And it all just starts with gratitude. No matter what you're going through, I promise that there's always something to be grateful for, even if it doesn't feel like it. You can be grateful for the fact that you even woke up this morning, or be grateful for the fact that you got to eat today. For me, I'm grateful for my best friend, who I'm currently partially living with. I'm grateful for the car that I was able to buy off of him. I am grateful for my mom that has given me emotional support through this process while she's been in Arizona. I am grateful for my job that I was able to get back right away. I am grateful for everything. Even though I am going through one of the lowest points in my life, I am emotionally the most secure and the happiest that I've ever been with myself. So yeah, that about sums it up. That's how I became homeless at the age of 19. And this is my story, and also my message about how you can be happy in any circumstance, no matter what. It all just comes down to you.
He has the right idea, honestly. He is really mature for his age, and he has the right attitude about his issue. Always find things to be grateful for, even at your lowest point. You have life. At least you have life. At least you have your health. In every issue that you face, there's always something to be thankful for. And that's absolutely true.
I got quite a few comments asking if I could do a story time on how I became homeless, so that's what this is going to be. Okay, let me give you a little background. Back in 2021, my mother had a really terrible stroke on Easter, and she ended up needing to be put into a rehab nursing facility because she was that badly affected by the stroke. And those facilities cost a lot of money. So my aunt at the time and uncle told me and my sister that we needed to move out because they needed to put the house up for sale to cover the cost of the nursing facility. We never lived out on our own, but I moved in with 3 other roommates into an apartment and stayed there for a whole year. The rent was like $1,050 a month, I want to say. God, I hate when I get makeup on my shirts because I don't have a neck. Anyway, my mom actually passed away while I was living there in January of the year that our lease was up. When it came around time for the summer and the lease was about to end, 2 of the roommates decided to move out,
and I thought it was just gonna be me and the other roommate, and they left unexpectedly. The price of rent also increased to almost like $1,400, which I would have had to pay all by myself. I was also letting my sister, my younger sister, stay with me without paying any rent because she didn't have a job because she just found out she was pregnant the week after my mom's funeral, and she was a mess and grieving, like I was too. Mind you, it had only been 6 months since my mom died, and it was all I could do to just get up and go to work every day to make sure that me and my sister had a place to stay. Oh my god, here I go again. But at the job that I had at the time, I could not swing $1,400 a month plus a $200 power bill. I couldn't do it. Also, I feel like it's important to add that after my mom died, none of our family talked to us. They ghosted us for real. I was 22 and my sister was 19 at the time, and none of them checked in on us. Nobody asked how we were doing or tried to see if we were okay dealing with our mom's death. None of them reached out whatsoever. In fact, one of my family members actually made a fake TikTok and started leaving hate comments and harassing me in my DMs because I posted about my mom being in the hospital on her deathbed, saying stuff like, oh, you're just using your mom's death for clout, or she would be ashamed of you posting like this in a time like this. First of all, it was my mama. I can post about whatever I want, and I sure as hell wasn't getting any support from my family. But you know who was giving me support? People on TikTok that have been through the same thing. Sorry, not sorry. But anyways, after the funeral, which a lot of people didn't even come, I've reached out to a lot of the family that I grew up with, cousins, aunts, uncles. None of them will respond. A couple of them I still have as friends on Facebook, but they will read my messages asking what I did to them, what me and my sister did for them to hate us, for them to not talk to us, to ghost us like that, and how we miss them and love them and we're sorry for whatever we did. Nothing. Crickets. And it's sad as fuck. Actually, now that I think about it, I did have one distant uncle message me on Facebook the year that my mom died and ask how me and my sister were doing, and to be honest, I overshared and I was a little too real with them, and I said, I'm gonna be honest, it's been really hard. I've thought about myself multiple times. I miss her so much. Financial problems and my sister being pregnant, everything is just very overwhelming. Wasn't asking him for money or for help, but he asked me how I was doing, so I was being honest, and he left me on red. But I'm getting off track. I just mentioned that to let you know we didn't have the ability to ask any family for help, like none. So we ended up being months behind on rent. I was trying to work out deals with the office to make a payment plan. I had just got a new job where I would be able to probably afford it if we didn't eat or I just walked to work, which it was right down the street. God damn it. But it was too far gone at that point, and I knew that. And I tried reaching out for churches or like government organizations that could help, but couldn't really find the help that we needed. Like I said, my sister found out she was pregnant in January, so she's like 6-7 months pregnant at this time. I'm not gonna make her go out and get a job. She's still grieving my mom just as bad as I am, but she's also pregnant and younger than me, so I was like, let me be big sis and make something happen. But we got eviction papers, and I took one of my first checks from my good job, and I paid for a month at an extended stay motel in Tillman's Corner, Alabama. If you know, you know. And I can say that because I'm from Theodore and Tillman's Corner, but not the best place. The Extended Suites, or whatever it was called. Notorious for roaches, rats, drugs, sex work, just not the best place you want to be. But it was what I could afford at the time, and so I moved me and my very pregnant sister into a single room at the Extended Suites, and it had 2 queen-size beds next to each other, a bathroom, a mini fridge, and a TV. No kitchen, but we had a roof over our heads, so I was grateful. And one thing I didn't realize until it happened to me is when you're homeless, you lose all of your belongings. Like, there were so many articles of clothing, furniture, family heirlooms that we couldn't even fit in the room that we moved to, let alone the car. We lost so much stuff. We did our best to keep the place clean without any roaches. We bought new like sheets and stuff from Walmart and pillows that we could put on the bed to make it feel more like ours. We even started decorating a bit just to make it feel more homey, to distract from the fact that we were in a literal extended stay motel. Was it dangerous there? Yes, but I personally live by the philosophy, don't start none, it won't be nothing. So I mind my business, and you know, don't look people in the eyes that look tweaked out. And we only ever had one scary instance. So me and my sister were sitting in the parking lot one day with the windows rolled down, and this guy came out of nowhere, leans over in the window, starts asking us if we know how to party, if we want ice, pills, whatever, and then starts telling my sister, like, I'm in the passenger, my sister's driving, my window is down, so he's leaned over me, talking to her, saying, you know, I eat it real good. And we were kind of scared because he seemed kind of aggressive, and so we went upstairs, and he followed and started pounding on our door. Terrifying. That's the only time we ever called the police when it came to people that stayed there. I don't even know if he stayed there, but the police came, didn't find him, but came up to our door and asked for his description. And then literally like 5 minutes after the police left, he came back and was pounding on the window. I don't fuck with snitches. And we're like, oh my God, we're gonna die. But we didn't. Other than having to like step around ladies of the night doing their business on the one staircase that we needed to use to get up to our room, it was fine. After we stayed there, we eventually had to leave because we couldn't afford it anymore. And my sister moved in with her friend, and I slept in my boyfriend's car because he was staying at home at the time for a few months until I got the place that I'm in now. So yeah, 2022 was definitely the worst year of my life. So much trauma. Lost my mama, lost my car, got evicted, became homeless, dealt with other personal stuff, became mentally ill, and it's just like, God dang, the universe kept throwing it, piling it on top of me. I'm so traumatized from being homeless that the slightest amount of financial tightness scares me. Like, I'm constantly terrified that I'm gonna end up homeless again, to the point where I have panic attacks thinking about getting kicked out. But also, I had a breakthrough. A few months ago, I had a revelation, though, that really changed my perspective on what I had been through. And I was really just grateful that if anybody had to have all this shit happen at once, I'm glad that I had it happen to me, because now I know I'm strong enough to withstand anything that life throws at me. I've pretty much almost seen it all. I'm not challenging the universe, but I know that whatever happens, I will be okay and I'll pull through.
Okay, let's talk about how I went from a good job, a 3-bedroom house in the suburbs, to homeless and jobless in less than 30 days. I know it wasn't drugs. So I've been living in the same house for 4 years, and with the economy, landlords see that they can get more money for the houses. So after 4 years, it was time to renew my lease, and on December 1st, my landlord said that they were doubling the rent. So with doubling the rent, they determined that I would not income qualify for the price that they were wanting for the house, and they were not going to continue with renewing my lease. So they gave me till January 1st to find a new place. So a 30-day notice, which is legally all they have to do. I get that. But, I mean, come on. Christmas, New Year, so it's like that is a lot to take on already. So anyways, they decide that, you know, that would make them shit people to kind of do that. And they're going to let me stay till February 1st. Great. Still stressful, you know, still a lot, especially a single mom of 3 kids to try and pack 4 years worth of stuff by yourself, find a house, all the things. Not to mention every application fee is $50 to even try to qualify. Okay, great. So then you qualify, and most of the places that I have applied, you are just applying to their realty company. So the house you thought you were applying to, you're really not, and it'll be other houses in cities away that they have available. Okay, so I'm $500 out at this point with application fees, and great, I'm approved through many realty companies, and yet they still don't have a house for me. So here I am. So I'm dealing with the stress of the holidays, stress of packing, trying to find a house, all the things. Boom, get back to work, first day back from work, 3 days after Christmas, and they say, you have a meeting. Obviously, people at work talk, so I already knew the announcement. They were letting some people go. Now, I have always been a top performer. I trained everyone at my job, including the supervisors. So, you know, when things like this happen, obviously you're nervous, it might be you, but realistically, you know, I've busted my ass there for 12 years. I never thought it was going to be me. So I can't speak too much on this yet because I am staying there for 2 more weeks. Don't worry, I will update. But long story short, I was selected to be let go. So when, you know, I'm putting this out there, just, I don't know if this is going to help anybody. These are the type of videos I know have helped me, like, feel better, I guess, about maybe what I'm going through, or I'm not alone. So I did want to put it out there because, I'm sorry, hold on. I think because we just get so comfortable in our life, and we're just doing the same thing. So I know, especially for me, you know, growing up, we experienced a lot of homelessness, a lot of issues, and it's always just meant a lot to me to make sure my kids have security. So I stick with things longer than I should. That includes jobs. This employer I knew did not have my best interests at heart, or any of the associates' best interests at heart, but I stuck it out for my kids. I continued to stick it out for my kids. I declined offers, job offers that I just didn't feel would benefit my kids as far as getting to spend the most time with them. Same for this house. I've had a lot of issues here. So, you know, I am choosing to believe that this is the universe's way of pushing me out of situations that I should have pushed myself out of a long time ago. And I don't know if anybody cares, or like I said, if this helps anybody, but we will be okay. If you're going through something similar, it will be okay. And you will find a new job. You will find a new place. And I'm telling myself that. So I think I will continue to just update this through TikTok. Again, you know, if you're not interested, scroll past. If you don't care, just unfollow me or block me or whatever you're going to do. But I do think, like I said, it could be helpful for some just to watch the process. So tonight before I go to bed, I am going to go ahead and waste another $100 and apply for 2 more houses and go from there. But that is my first step. I have put my resume out to many people, including some that I had looked into previously. So fingers crossed, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. But stay tuned. Again, it's gonna all be okay. Stay positive.
Let's talk about how easy it is to be homeless and why you shouldn't judge, because it could easily be you. So for the longest time, you know, just like any, you know, regular, like early 20s teenager, I was living with my mom, and you know, I was staying with her. I had my own room, own bathroom, and we were moving in November of 2022. So our lease was up for our apartment that we were currently at, so we were moving to another apartment. So before my mom could sign the new lease for the new apartment, she was hospitalized, and that's when she had passed, when she had passed. And I, you know, was living with my mom like most kids, you know, most young adults. Like, I was living with my mom. So when she died, and, you know, obviously, like, I couldn't afford a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment, and I couldn't, you know, take on the responsibility. I was then left in a situation where I had nowhere to go. I don't have, you know, family outside of my mom. Like, me and my mom, like, we were our only family. So when it came to figuring out where I was gonna live when she had passed, I was homeless. I was put in a homeless situation overnight. Like, over fucking night. Like, I was excited to move in to my new place. I was ready to, you know, decorate, and just like that, I was homeless over fucking night. And I never thought it was gonna be me. I never thought I was gonna be in that situation until I was.
You know, when I first became homeless on Social Security disability, they cut my food stamps from like $430 a month down to $23 a month because I no longer had housing costs, so I could just afford to buy my own food. Which, I mean, technically I still owe on the housing, which is how I became homeless, so I did, but whatever. Anyway, it was my own fault because I go down to the welfare office, right? And I had never used like housing assistance before because I owned my own house for 19 years, and then the maintenance costs got too high and I had to move out into a place that the rent was way more expensive than my mortgage, which I could not pay, and I missed a month, and they were like, get the fuck out. So anyway, I was at this place and I was like, you know, do you guys do like housing assistance, or how do I apply for that? I just became homeless. And they were like, actually, no, we don't do that in the office, but here is a phone number for a homeless shelter. We are gonna have to go ahead and take away your food stamps now, though. I was like, oh, all right, thank you.
Hi, it's Contessa. I'm just gonna start calling myself your neighborhood-friendly homeless person. I'm in a shelter though, so it's okay. I just kind of wanted to talk a minute about why I'm here. I'm actually a very successful person. I've worked for 15 years for the government. I have 2 scientific degrees. But sometimes life has other plans. So for those who don't know, in April of 2022, my 8-month-old son passed away from congenital heart disease. He had Down syndrome and he was born with a heart defect, and it wasn't something we could fix. A year later, my husband cheated on me and he left. And he gave me 4 months to find a job, to find a place to live, and to move out. And that was not enough time. I got a job as a substitute teacher, but it was more part-time, temporary, and I could not maintain the cost of living in an apartment with my daughter with no help, no food stamps, no Medicaid, nothing. All the bills, it's just too much, couldn't handle it. Ended up in hotels until now, because it's summertime, and because there's no school, I can't work as a substitute. So I am diligently looking for work. Had a couple of interviews, applied for unemployment, still waiting on it. In the meantime, I'm in a shelter. I get fed, and I get shelter, obviously. I get a roof over my head. I get a bed. We have private rooms, but everything else is kind of like a boarding house. Everything else is shared. But it's okay. Better than being on the street. I was in my car for 2 weeks. Hardest 2 weeks of my life. But it made me a different person, and it made me stronger. And so it gave me hope that I have the strength I can get through this. And I got 6 months here if I need it. In the meantime, I'm getting help with housing and other things, resources. So I do need things like laundry soap. I do need things like shampoo and that kind of stuff. So I am seeing if anybody wants to donate to help me out. You do not have to. There's no obligation. I'll put my PayPal, I'll put my Cash App in the comments. But yeah, that's how I'm doing right now. Gonna keep updating. Thank you for everyone who's been following me, following my journey. It means the world to me. And if there's one thing that's never gonna change, is my strength and my positivity.
Have y'all heard anything about this wicked political system trying to make it illegal to be homeless? Like, no lie, they can literally imprison you for being homeless in this economy. Like, are y'all serious? Out of all the news I came across today, this has to be the wildest one. We are living in a time where we are paying $5 for a gallon of gas. A gallon of gas, $5 in the South. In California, I heard it's damn near 10. And you talking about you're going to imprison people for being homeless? The same exact economy where we paying triple the food prices. You know how high groceries are these days? These homeless people can't even go to the store and get nothing to eat. And the food stamp office is stingy. They went up on rent out here and everything. And we got these dead-end jobs that don't even want to pay according to the cost of living. So with all of that going on, plus more, how does the government really expect us to survive? Us regular folks. We ain't talking about the thousandaires, the rich people, or, the people that got inheritances and things like that. We're talking about us, regular civilians. How are we supposed to make a living and afford any type of lifestyle on this type of economy? So instead of making it a law to pay according to the cost of living, they rather make it a law to be homeless so they can imprison you and put you in them jail cells and just make money off of you since they can't put you to work. And that is a very, 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 very scary thing to me because you could be homeless out here at any point. It could literally happen to anyone. Like, this is absolutely ridiculous. Like, at this point, I don't even think I want to continue my life in the United States. I'm thinking about moving overseas. Like, I could really be in Bali or Europe somewhere living the life. I'm talking about living my best life over there off of $5,000. I'm talking about with just $5,000, you can go overseas and build you a whole new life and be able to live off of that $5,000 for like the next few months. But over here in America, $5,000 can barely even get you in an apartment. Like, at this point, I hate it here. I don't want to live in the United States anymore. Like, I want to look into living overseas because this is the ghetto. Like, this is ghetto. Everything about the United States is ghetto because I cannot believe they are literally passing a law or trying to make it illegal to be homeless. Like, they're going to find ways to make you useful to them instead of useful to yourself. At this point, it ain't no more playtime. No more playtime at all. Everybody need to be on their Zoom. Entrepreneurs, content creators, freaking plumbers, construction workers, models. Everybody need to be on their Zoom. Everybody need equity out here because if you don't, they will put you in jail. And I never thought that in 2024, I would be saying those words. The government is literally giving us two options. Either go out here, make some money, live on your own, or you can go to jail and they gonna make money off of you. You got to pick either or. So guys, stay safe and do everything you can to make sure that you don't ever go homeless because out here, it's not looking good for us. It's not looking good for us at all, guys.
I appreciate you guys watching the video today. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.